Hello, I'm David Barlow. I'm a Hawaii car accident injury lawyer. Today we're going to be discussing a confusing topic in Hawaii. It's something called no-fault insurance. This is a very bad name for this type of insurance because it's just very confusing. We get many calls where people call and they say, oh, I know Hawaii is a no-fault state, so I guess I'm not going to get any compensation for my injuries. And obviously that could not be farther from the truth, okay? People are all confused about Hawaii as a no-fault state, and because of the really bad title of that type of insurance. So let's explain what no-fault insurance is. So Hawaii is, I guess like they say, Hawaii is a no-fault state, but it doesn't mean what people think it means, okay? So that's why we're going to explain all of this today. When we talk about Hawaii as a no-fault state, that means that Hawaii has no-fault insurance. That's a law in Hawaii requiring every insurance company in Hawaii to provide no-fault insurance. So when you are in a car accident in Hawaii, the car that you are in, so your own car insurance, pays the first $10,000 of your medical bills. All right, that's kind of where the term no-fault insurance came from. In other words, it doesn't matter whose fault the accident is, the car you're in pays the first $10,000 in medical bills. This part of it is also confusing. Let's say the accident is completely not your fault in any way, and you're wondering, why is my insurance having to pay the first $10,000 of medical bills? Doesn't make any sense, right? They should be the other driver's insurance, should pay all of my bills, should pay everything. So to understand this, because this is obviously upsetting to people, confusing to people, we gotta kind of step back and look at, why they write laws, okay? This law about no-fault insurance, it was written, 20, 30 years ago, and we have to step back and think about the purpose on why they did this. All right, that kind of helps people understand and help it make a little more sense when they're frustrated by the no-fault insurance, everything about it. So when people get in a car accident, even when it's not their fault, people are often hesitant to get medical treatment. We all know how much ambulance bills are, ER bills, and so, that's your first natural reaction is, oh, I don't want, even though hopefully the other driver is going to pay all my bills, but I don't know. I don't know for sure. I don't know if they even have insurance. I don't know if their insurance will admit that they were at fault. So a lot of people, they don't get the treatment that they need. Some people, they do need to get in the ambulance and go to the emergency room like right away. But because they're afraid of the medical bills, they just go home and they try to deal with it. As we know, if you are injured, that's not the way to deal with your injuries. You need to get treatment, you need to get checked out. And so in order to avoid that whole scenario of people not knowing if the guy has insurance, not knowing if they will accept liability, why he said, okay, you know what? We don't want anyone worried about their medical bills. We want anyone that's injured to go and get treatment right away. So they wrote this law so that you're driving your car, you know you have insurance, so I have $10,000 in medical bills that they will pay. That's the purpose of the law. Hopefully I explained it good enough. I obviously don't want this video to go on for an hour. I could explain it even a lot better, of course. So that's why it's called no-fault insurance, because it doesn't matter whose fault it is, your car that you're in, or even if it's not your car, if you're a passenger, the car that you're in, that insurance is gonna pay $10,000 of your medical bills. It's required in Hawaii. All insurance companies have to provide that coverage. You can even buy more if you want to purchase more. I've had clients with $30,000, $50,000, which is handy, it's nice, but the minimum is $10,000, okay? If you are in an accident, you can relax knowing I'm gonna go get checked out and the bills will be paid. Now the bills do have to be reasonable and they do have to be related to the accident. Those are the two caveats with insurance that they want to make sure. Let's say you already injured your back a month before at work and then you get rear-ended, and if you go to the ER and say that exact same spot in my back that you injured a month ago, you want to blame that on that accident, they might really analyze that and question whether that's true or not. But they also want to make sure it's reasonable, okay? So let's say you had a very minor accident, very minor injuries, but you want to go to the ER and get 5 MRIs or get physical therapy. I guess it's more for like the follow-up treatment. If you had a very minor injury and then you want to get physical therapy for 2 years, they can say, hey, that's not reasonable. There's a few scratches on your car and now you want to get physical therapy or massage therapy for 2 years. So there are some rules there that insurance companies will sometimes look at. I will say it is very rare. We rarely see insurance companies say, hey, we don't think these are related and we don't think these are reasonable. Especially nowadays, 10,000 is, not a lot of money. So 20 years ago when we started doing this, yeah, they kind of, $10,000 was a lot more money back then, unfortunately, with all the inflation. So 20 years ago, adjusters kind of questioned a lot more, the treatment, the bills. Nowadays, it seems like they just want to hurry and pay that $10,000 so they can close the claim and move on. Anyway, the no-fault insurance, it does cover, of course, all of your ER treatment, ambulance, ER, follow-up doctor appointments. The nice thing about no-fault insurance is it does cover massage therapy, physical therapy, chiropractor, acupuncture, a lot of different types of treatment that isn't normally covered by people's regular health insurance. So no-fault insurance can come in handy for all that type of follow-up treatment. So that's, that's a nice thing. A couple things about no-fault insurance. If you're in an accident, you have to use it. I guess if you want to pursue a claim against the other driver and you want to get a settlement against the other driver, you have to use your no-fault insurance. Hawaii actually requires that you use at least 5,000 of that, all right? That's kind of another little law in Hawaii where they don't want the courts full of little cases where people got $500 of treatment and then they want to sue the person, in court for 2 years. So in order to keep all the little cases out of court, Hawaii basically says, if you have a little case, if you don't have 5,000 in medical bills, then you're out of luck. You're not coming to the court system because the courts are for people that are really injured. All right, not even, obviously 5,000 isn't even that much. One ER visit is usually about 5,000, assuming you've got at least one exam, like one CT scan. If you go to the ER, you get a CT scan, it's probably over $5,000. You get in the ambulance, it's $1,500, $1,200. So 5,000 is pretty easy to hit. So that law, even now, like again, this is the 30-year-old law. So maybe 30 years ago, 5,000 was a lot. And they're like, oh, we want to make sure people have a lot of bills to go to court. Now $5,000 is not much. Basically, you go to the ER, you're gonna have 5,000 in bills, and then you can pursue the claim against the other driver. All right, so again, no-fault insurance is a little confusing, but don't think the other driver is getting off the hook, all right? Just because your insurance is paying the first $10,000 in medical bills, the other driver is still liable for everything else. All the bills over $10,000, okay? Maybe your health insurance pays those, but still, it's your insurance, so that you can make a claim with the other driver's insurance for all your medical bills, for your wage loss, for future medical bills, for your pain and suffering, for everything, okay? So this whole term, no-fault insurance, it's not accurate, okay? You can definitely still, fault does matter and you still can get a good settlement against the other driver. So yeah, I think we about covered the basics on no-fault insurance. Any questions, just give us a call. We'll be happy to explain even more. Like I said, I could go on for an hour about this because it is, to really understand all about it, it takes some time to really go into all the details, all about how no-fault insurance works. All right, thank you.